This time we have two curves, both of them trigonometric function. Y equals 8 cosine x, and the second function y equals secant square x. And we need to find the area bounded by the two curves from negative pi over 3 to pi over 3. So let's do that. So the area of the region between the two curves will be the subtraction, the difference between the two curves. You could do f2 minus f1 or f1 minus f2, but finally you have to absolute value of it. It must be positive. Or you could mention the sign. If it's under x, will be negative. So the area will be the integral from negative pi over 3 to pi over 3 of 8 cosine x minus secant square x with respect to x. You know that the integral of cosine is negative sign. So it will be negative and keep 8, and cosine will be sine x. And if you remember, the integration of secant square will be tangent x. So it will be plus tangent x. And it's from negative pi over 3 to pi over 3. So we'll do that here. F of pi over 3 minus f of negative pi over 3. You substitute for pi over 3, plug it in pi over 3, will be negative 8 sine pi over 3. And then plus tangent pi over 3. And let's evaluate it. By the way, pi over 3, which is, if you convert it to degrees, will be 180 divided by 3 is 60. And the sine of 60 is the square root of 3 over 2. And you set negative 8. Plus tangent of pi over 3, which is tangent of 60. Tangent of 60 is the square root of 3. Minus, you evaluate negative pi over 3. Negative pi over 3 will be negative, the same, but this will be negative pi over 3. And this is the same, will be negative pi over 3. Let's evaluate it here. So it will be negative 8 sine negative pi over 3. And plus tangent negative pi over 3. So it will be negative 8 and sine of negative pi over 3. How to do that here? Look, pi over 3 is 60, the same as you do negative 60. Negative 60 means you spin clockwise with clock direction, this one. 60 degrees. And you know that sine, it will be negative in this part. All are positive here. Sine only is positive here. Tangent is positive here. And cosine is positive here. We evaluate sine. So sine will be negative. So it will be negative square root of 3 over 2. Plus tangent of negative pi over 3. The same as 60, but it will be in fourth quarter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth quarter. And tangent here is negative. So it will be negative square root of 3. So plus negative square root of 3. Finalize that. So negative 8 square root of 3 over 2. And you have plus the square root of 3. And here is negative, negative is positive, and then times negative will be negative 8 square root of 3 over 2. Negative, negative, negative is negative. And here is negative, positive, negative is positive, positive square root of 3. So final evaluation here will be negative 4, negative 8, it will be negative 4, negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4 square root of 3. And this is square root of 3, and this is negative 4 square root of 3, and this is the square root of 3. Combine like terms will be negative 8 square root of 3, and this is square root of 3 plus square root of 3 is positive 2 square root of 3. So negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 square root of 3. And this is because it's under x-axis. Good absolute value because there's no negative area. So it will be positive 6 square root of 3 unit squared. Or it's 10.39 unit squared.